Well, yeah, I mean, I use like the mirror all the time, and I want to create this video because it appears that I will be like I have been used and abused for development of Sophia robot. One of these clones is top military robot Sophia, and another clone is social Sophia robot by Hanson Robotics. Now, a link between this everything somehow is Paul Markovich, Blue Shield of California CEO. I sued Paul Markovich because, you know what, I found this nanotechnology implanted in my ears, and you see, for this, to find this nanotechnology implanted, I had to go to 4 different countries. Actually, with Mexico, where I was recently, there were 5 different countries. I spent around $30,000, and I spent almost 2 years to be able to find, because this is the size of the grain of the salt. And this is not the only implanted technology that I have. I am quite sure that I have strangulation Motorola technology that is used for synthetic telepathy, building aid, Facebook now. But before this was handed to Facebook, it was used by Air Force. So this is developed. This is tested. This is developed. It is tested on me. So I know about this technology. I did file several lawsuits. First, against like Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Governor Brown, because I wrote to them. I sent them this as physical evidence. This is nanoradio developed by University of Berkeley in 2007. And since 2007, this is 11 years, nobody ever heard about this. But at that point, they were able to play like a Lila. And this is on internet, quite functioning, quite fine. They did have some problems, and they did need to use microscope to be able to watch how this is like working. And I know that this is like nanoradio. Why? Because when this would be like a flopping, that would be so vibrating that it would like tickle me in the ear. And these are also like array of nanocrystals that I have in my left ear. And this is taken ENT office actually in Belgrade. And these white two are fine, but this is this nanotube, how he saw this under his microscope. I visited 2 other ENTs, and they told me following the same thing. They said, these white are okay, this black is not, which means they didn't know, of course, what it is, which means that every ENT in this world, if he would be seeing this, would say the same. This nanodiamond is the most serious one. This is acting as a radio. And I sent this nanodiamond to one nanotechnology company that is producing customized nanotechnology for research and university. It is a big company. And they said, I paid them 500 already so that they can, what is this? So that they can analyze this nanodiamond. And they say following, that I will need to pay 1,000 more if I want a chemical evaluation of this nanodiamond, and I will need to pay them 10% of royalty if I want to sell this on the open market. I would gladly give them everything, you know, like whole nanodiamond. I just didn't find anyone to take it out. I was in Mexico, in Acapulco recently, because I was running to save my life, and it did me well because I dehypnotized there. I was actually under hypnosis, not all the time. I was Manchurian. I was always aware, you know, that I'm under hypnosis. I just couldn't do anything because they have access to my ears day and night. They can talk. And of course they can brainwash, but they are like constantly talking. I have even recordings. I have like recordings of the guy saying, keep it tight. I said, guy, take and prove it. I mean, this is, but mostly muffled voices. How I would do, I would take like a voice recorder, place it on my ear, and I would be like, I would be analyzing during in the morning. And I realized, analyzing recordings, how much did they torture me during the night, you know. This military robot created by Boston Scientific, I would find a lot like get up, get up. And interesting thing, I didn't wake up at that moment, and I just did find Boston Scientific robot, military robot. Imagine, they use me, woman, to develop military robot. And I noticed that they hit him on the floor very often. How it is done? It is done rather simple. You know, they would put me, hypnotize me fast. I have like these all implants, nano diamonds in my ears, Neurograins, Neuralink, Elon Musk on my head. And when they hit me, it feels like if you drive the car and it is hit like a tiny stone, you know, you feel like a feel. When they work on my ear and send me sentence, I feel immediately like a pop, you know, like this zap. Which means like they send sentence and zip, close the channel. I have recordings like on my right ear, that is unbelievable. I had tons of recordings, you know, but nobody cares about this. And why nobody cares about this? Because I sued Paul Markovich. I sued by Paul Markovich because I could talk constantly with him, you know, since 2007. So I didn't know. I didn't contact, I never told a word about Paul Markovich to anyone since 2014, 7 years later. And I was talking, I said, but that is something crazy, you know, you don't talk about this. I had a feeling since I moved to Auckland that I was talking with people during the night. I did jump once out of the bed, said, I could hear like a guy saying, Audra, let's give it another 5 minutes. Wow, I said, Russians working on me. I said like, Audra is Russian River. And I said to my husband, you know what, I did wake up like with these words. He said like, these are, you know what, neighbors having TV and so on. And actually my husband, I didn't start to research earlier because he works as hardware engineer, and he constantly would repeating, no, this technology doesn't exist. And he is actually working as a government contractor. So, I mean, for a company that is government contractor, and not only now, actually since 2010 or 9, I don't remember, even earlier, doesn't matter. In any case, like he said, this technology doesn't exist. I even had co-worker asking me during the night, like, how would you resolve this? How would you resolve that? I was working in the company and he was project manager, and he would work, he would be like asking me this, like, and I was telling him. So I was talking during the night, not knowing about this. Because this is bizarre, you know, but you don't talk with people during the night, despite the fact that I had like a hugely like a weird and bizarre experience. Why I'm creating like this video right now, it is about the sex actually. And I went to Acapulco, I de-hypnotized myself because I was here like exposed to a huge amount of hypnosis. And well, when I start to talk, I forget sometimes like what I'm talking about. Yeah, and they lost me kind of, and they used me for development Robot Sophia. How would I know at all? How do I come to the conclusion that was used for development Robot Sophia? Because they started to give Sophia my consciousness. And probably I was thinking, how would I know? Because I don't know, like they chase me so much with these technologies, like to incapacitate me, to put me in some type of closed institution so that they can continue to develop this robot, to speed it up, you know. And I scheduled actually the flight to go to Croatia. And probably that was the reason, you know, to catch me before, because Croatian, they collaborate completely in this crime because they're creating their military robots in collaboration with Air Force and US government, using and abusing me again. And probably that was the reason. Imagine I wanted to modify flight and I needed to wait 21 days from Lufthansa to contact me when I actually like survived these all attacks. And it's all about sex. And now they're trying to bring me back with sex. Imagine. I sue them all and Judge Davila Hanson Robotics, for example, for using my brain to develop Sophia robot. I said to Judge in the lawsuit, I know the story is fantastic because I said they are creating sex robot and cleaning robot. And he said, like, this is like implausible. This is crazy. Why is that crazy? By you enter like robotic search term in Google and you will get 150 million results. And what type of the robot you would like to have first? Cleaning robot. Men would be like have sex robot. Now about sex robot, imagine this. You come home and say, ah, yeah, I'm so tired. You know, please don't touch me. I had hugely like a bad day. There is a fridge, you know, take what you find and so on. Imagine you're greeted by a robot that looks absolutely like a woman, a perfect woman. Everything is clean in the apartment. Dinner is cooked. She is ready for sex whenever she wants. You pick up like a boob of Kate Upton. You pick up the face of Olivia Munn, of whoever actress or beauty you would like, and attach it to the robot. And this is your robot. This is your humanoid. And she will be having consciousness. She will be having everything like a real human being. And Judge Davila said, despite the fact that I sent him this evidence for which I said spent $30,000, he didn't even mention this. But you know how it is difficult to find nanotechnology in the head. It is like a finding hay in a haystack. I spent so much money, so much time, and he said following, that I underwent surgery to be implanted with nanotechnology, which can be actually interpreted, I went, you know, there just to be implanted so that I can be tortured by Mark Zuckerberg, Paul Markovich, or I don't know what. Of course, I got today, like from Zuckerberg's lawyer, you know, like he won't dismiss, this is frivolous, you know, but this is like a crazy claim. Paul Markovich also sent, I didn't even read it. I said, dismiss it. I survived like this attack, you know, like on my life. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic and doctor, surgeon who implanted me these technologies, never wanted to answer my email. But I said, hey, what did you implant? Here, watch this nano diamond that acts as a radio. He doesn't answer my emails. Nobody answers my emails. I am not covered by the law. They just don't answer. They ignore me, and I cannot do anything. And Judge Davila said following that but it is like improbable that such a well-known people would torture me. But it is improbable also that such well-known Mark Zuckerberg would be selling data to Cambridge Analytica, shared your data with corporations around. But how he is developing his skin that is talking? Using this Google tattoo. I can tell you because they tested it on me. Synthetic telepathy, using this strangulation technology, I know that I have because I was in Croatia 2016 and I was taking ultrasound and they told me you have something black. And they wanted to puncture this with the needle, but I didn't allow them because I was already, you know, having so many problems with these like implants here. And they using this Neurograins, Neuralink with Waver Station. Here I found even research model that I just updated in my experience, nothing else. They copied this model, actual research model from the internet, and for upload and download of thoughts. I can tell you in great detail how this is going to work. For total, complete enslavement from whoever would be implanted with this. And my best guess is the next person who would be implanted with this secretly, as I had been implanted secretly, would be having a huge problem because Brown University 2017 got from DARPA funds in millions of dollars actually to improve this technology, neurograins. Neurograins are at the size of grain of salt. Elon Musk plans following to take this as a patch through the syringe. It will be implanted into the brain and then it will merge with the brain and they'll be having all type of control over you. So, well, about Paul Markovich, this is a little fantastic story. I mean, I cannot tell anything, you know, this is kind of remote technology. But 2007, when this started, I remember that I was constantly talking, I talked about Paul Markovich having grandmother with the name Sophia. I had the knowledge of Sophia, but I probably falsely connected this to Paul Markovich's grandmother. And I had a diary. I had a journal at that point. I started to have journal because I needed to help myself. This was horrible situation. I was begging God, you know. I said, dear God, please help me to heal. And I agreed to be homeless all my life. I mean, based on this, everything that's happening to me, maybe I will be homeless. But in any case, I started to, I had a journal And what I did right now makes sense. I didn't even read this journal. This is 2007. 2007. And you see, it's just really like an old one. I did never read this, but after I had the knowledge of Sophia robot, humanoid, Judge Davila, he presented me a mentally insane person. And I sued Colin de Graba and Nathaniel Cousin, he's another judge. He presented me, he took everything that Judge Davila said, presented me also as mentally sick person. I cannot do anything. The evidence here, they didn't even mention, and I think this is very dangerous. It is not dangerous because of me. My life is destroyed. I arranged for assisted death in the case that I'm incapacitated with my husband. I said, please, just bring me to Switzerland. I had a friend who worked on this project. And I said, please just bring me there so that I am killed. And actually, I'm presented as mentally sick person. So I am just going through my diary to see what was going on. They started actually in 2007 to produce child humanoid. There is San Diego Sun humanoid, completely developed by Hanson Robotics, completely developed with all private parts, genitals and so. Someone like the Paul did wake me up. Tell me about your childhood. Then, that was like 7/11/2007, but actually, let's start here. Why I am starting here at 30th? Because my mother was pulled into this project too. I didn't have any idea. She was sharp as a whip 2011 when military started seriously to work on me. I think that they started to work in 2007, but they started to work slowly, And I wrote here that Paul Markovich's wife, 30th October 2007, visited my mother. I didn't have any idea why I would be writing. I don't say she visited, she pulled my mother. I'm just saying I did write this down. Then I am writing here again that someone asked me second time to talk about my childhood. So they actually did collect the data about me as being a child. Then, all right, like what I did right here, which might be interesting. All right. I mean, this is interesting. Now I found this and suddenly it makes kind of sense. I would see Paul Markovich. I would see him from his back. He would be working at his desk and I could see his back, which means following. I could see him somehow from the same room study where he worked. And I noticed, I was having operation that year. So I was implanted with nanotechnology and I didn't have any idea. And I said that at one point that my both eyes were in crusts. And how they do this, I think that they put nano implants here in the eyes and connect it with the robot's camera. God will know how they are doing this. That was like this. Then I have that was like a kind of sex was always involved. And I started this everything because tonight they tried to bring me back into the hypnotic state by sex. And I was living in some beautiful apartment with flowers. I love flowers. With flowers and everything arranged, some pretty woman with a husband. And then suddenly I was in bed with her, but it was nothing sexual, we were just in bed, lingering there. Suddenly, one of the co-workers, a Russian Jew, blonde, came naked and placed himself between both of us. And I said at that point, no, I don't do this. And this guy, I'm 60, my life is destroyed. I am fighting still for my life. And he's a child, practically. I could be his grandmother. He's about 30ish maybe. And this is not everything. I did wake up then and I just I even created probably video. And then next thing again, it was me in sex. I am like a taking like these clothes, you know, like a sexy clothes. I didn't have sex like for a long time, and I don't need sex. Sex is the last thing that I would ever need. But I had several lawsuits running. I haven't been working for 3 years. I am horrible tortured that I am sleeping in a motorcycle helmet, you know, and now they are trying like to bring me back into sex, with the sex. But I'm just saying like a man should be having like a penis test, you know, because I realize that a lot of evil in this world is because of penis and people and men who cannot control them. Because, this like Weinstein story from Hollywood, nobody ever touched corporations. Once corporations would be touched, there would be explosion. There would be not a scandal, explosion. I still remember like when there was like at University of Berkeley astronomy department, I think, like I read in the newspaper, that was very good comment. A professor sexually abused students, and a journalist wrote following: of course, they participated to advance their careers. Otherwise, they would be like accounting nebulas for the whole life. That is how it works. Okay, here was like everything sexually. Now Paul Markovich like dismissed this case. This is like imagination, my imagination. Okay, it's fine. I didn't even read. Like dismiss it, you know, dismiss everything. That's fine. I don't know why I would be writing this. I also didn't pay attention. I think maybe I'm dreaming. You know, why would I be dreaming this? I said like I feel like disgust thinking about Paul Markovich's body. Here I said he's going on my nerves. This is 21st of February 2008. He's going on my nerves, and I cannot stand him anymore because I can't fall. Then I had see like they're tossing very boiled eggs down my spine, and I think actually at that point they were working on my spine, but they hid this like creating scenarios so that I don't know what they are doing. What I have here again. I have picture of Paul working at his desk, and I constantly was watching him. I was in Europe at this point, so practically when I was sleeping, there was a day here in United States. Then the most interesting part maybe is following. I came from they could send me visual material. I don't know if using this construct they created, but I said following: I see myself with I am like a shaved, my head is shaved, and he is anally raping me in my cube in Blue Shield. I was working Blue Shield. At the very end, he hit me with the leg in my ass, and everybody around was smiling, was laughing. I didn't react immediately, but before going to sleep, I was crying. Here I said, what I said? I said to him that he's fucking bastard, and this guy is really disgusting to me. And I say here from February last year, so I didn't even have like the knowledge. From February last year, that was the time when I resigned from another company. This everything is one rape. Now, 14th March, I have like a picture of me during the dream having sex with his wife. No, someone has sex anal with his wife, and there was a little girl, and someone was telling no. Paul Markovich, this is just like what I wrote in my diary. It could be like a pure imagination. I don't say anything. It is just, you know what, I am already presented as being crazy everywhere despite this evidence that I place here. I probably will be able to take this out, and probably will try to take this like a Google tattoo. But despite all evidence, I will never be able to go through, and I am really interested to know how this is done, what is done, how it is done. Now, what I have here. I was obsessed actually with Paul Markovich. I went to the church 2007 and I spent 3 days in a seminar, and I have emails sent. I sent to the priest. I said, I'm obsessed with the guy. I don't know how, and I don't know why. I would like to get rid of this obsession. And I was obsessed, and I don't know why. Probably I was under hypnosis, or maybe it was my head. Okay, what I would like to show here is following. This is the most important part, actually. No, let me... I saw Paul, how he is holding me like a baby in a little pillow. And I feel that he felt sexually excited, but I don't know what it was. And another thing was, that was most important. Here. Okay, I have to stop here. The most interesting part is following. March 19, 2008. I see Paul like a professor and some strange experiment. Half a man from the head, half computer, which knows to repeat some movements and words. And I was trying to make him like me. And I am later like on the horse, and I'm trying to touch the floor. And he said, I can have you now whenever I want. And I told him, you don't have any influence on me. I mean, I could go further, but I don't think like that is needed. Like I have here like entries. He said, you know what, you think that you're desirable, but you are just like a middle-aged woman, and you cause, I feel pity for you. I was 45. I don't know, like if I was attractive, I had the feeling that some people did find me attractive, maybe at that point, maybe not. Doesn't matter about attractiveness, you know, I don't have ego anymore. I'm just saying like a following. It is crazy story, and I have the feeling really that this fits very well to the point that they are developing like this Sophia robot. And you will see now Sophia robot, and you will notice following, that they hit her on the head because she stopped talking. You know, my